fattest girl in the village. She had always been fat since she was a baby, but as she grew older, she became even bigger. Because of this, she had no friends and was often alone. She was constantly mocked and harassed by the other girls in the village, who called her names like hippo, whale, and buffalo. They made fun of her clothes, which were always too tight or too short for her. They laughed and pointed fingers at her, and when she wasn't looking, they would keep stones in her way, hoping she would fall so that they could laugh some more. This made her very unhappy and depressed. One day, a new family moved into the hut beside theirs. They had a daughter named Ngozi, who was just about the same age as Ifeoma. Ngozi was slender and pretty, with long black hair and brown eyes. She wore colorful beads and bracelets, and had a lot of beautiful Ankara dresses. Ngozi quickly became popular among the other girls who admired her and wanted to be her friend. Ifeoma was curious about Ngozi and hoped that they could be friends since they were neighbors. One day, she summoned up courage and decided to approach her while they were at the stream. She walked up to Ngozi, who was surrounded by a group of other girls, and said timidly, "Hi, my name is Ifeoma. I live in the hut next to yours, and I would like to be your friend if you don't mind." Ngozi looked at Ifeoma and laughed an evil laugh. She said loudly for everybody to hear, "Ifeoma, why would I want to be your friend? Why would I be friends with a girl as fat and ugly as you are? You are repulsive. Get away from here and never speak to me again." She then laughed, and so did the other girls. They all pointed at Ifeoma and chanted, "Heavy, heavy, biggie, biggie, himpo, nobody likes you." Ifeoma felt a surge of pain and anger in her heart. She ran away crying and went home. She locked herself in her hut and refused to come out, and because she was sad, she ate even more food, finishing all the food meant for the entire family for dinner. She wished she could disappear or be someone else. A few days later, a royal messenger arrived in the village. He announced that Obinna, the king of the kingdom, was looking for a bride, and that he would visit the village soon to choose one. He said that all the eligible maidens in the village should prepare themselves for the king's arrival, and that the king would pick the most beautiful and charming one of them all. The news caused a lot of excitement and commotion in the village. All the girls except Ifeoma started to dress up and adorn themselves with their best clothes and jewelry. They had practiced their manners and poses, hoping to impress the king. Ngozi was the most confident and ambitious of them all. She was very sure that since she was so beautiful, the king would fall in love with her at first sight, and that she would become the future queen. Ifeoma, on the other hand, had no interest in the king or his visits. She felt that because she was fat, he would never choose her, and that she would be humiliated and rejected by him. She stayed in her hut all day feeling sorry for herself, and wished that she could escape from her miserable life. When the day of the king's visit finally came, the king arrived the village with his entourage. He was tall and handsome, with a golden crown on his head and a leopard skin cloak around his shoulders. He greeted the village chief and elders and proceeded to meet the girls immediately. He walked around the village looking at each girl carefully and asking them questions about their names and families. The girls tried their best to charm him with smiles and compliments, but he was not impressed. Ngozi was the most aggressive of them all. She showed off her looks and curvaceous figure in a seductive manner. The king was not impressed by Ngozi either. He found them too vain, too loud, or too shallow. He was looking for a girl who was not only beautiful, but also humble and kind. He was about to give up and leave the village when he noticed a hut that he had not visited yet. He asked the village chief who lived there, and the chief told him that it was Ifeoma's parents' hut. The chief said that Ifeoma was the fattest girl in the village, and that she was always alone in her hut sewing or talking to her plants. He urged the king not to bother checking on Ifeoma because she was not his type. She was fat and very unattractive. The king was intrigued by